Nat, there are fears koalas may be functionally extinct. It means populations of the marsupials are beyond the point of recovery, with not enough breeding in the wild to support another generation. The grim call has been made by the Australian Koala Foundation, which believes there are no more than 80,000 koalas left in Australia. It's called on the government to act to protect koala habitats before it's too late. At the current rate of decline, koalas could be wiped off the planet by 2050. Daniel Rumsey, our mate Dan, from head keeper of the Australian Reptile Park, is with us with one of his little koala mates. Hello, cutie. This is extra. How did we get to this stage?
Yeah, those numbers, they're staggering. It's almost heartbreaking. And habitat loss. Humans live in the most, I guess, eastern Australia, and that's obviously where koalas live as well. Yep. We cut down their trees, no tree, no koala. It's that simple. OK. Because only a couple of years ago, we were doing reports on overpopulation in places like Kangaroo Island and things like that. Do we need to isolate them, if you like, in places like that to really boost numbers? The problem with isolating them on islands in particular is the genetic diversity that you can maintain on an island. Right. So they need the mainland, and we need to really act quickly and preserve enough habitat to sustain them for the future. It's like we just need the government to get involved. We need them to be leading from the front, no doubt about it. OK, so explain what all that means. What can a government do? Well, we need a Koala Protection Act. That would be the best way to start. They've done it in other parts of the world, particularly in America with the bald eagle, so we could do the same for koalas. ScoMo, if you're watching, let's get behind.
So what does that do? Explain an act like that. What would it do?
Let's make sure we preserve enough habitat, wild habitat, to sustain viable koala populations right through eastern Australia, right from the northern Queensland down to Victoria.
So almost like buying national parks purely for koalas and having keepers or environmentalists make sure that they're looked after.
Yeah,
right?
And they do a lot of work with studying koala populations, and we need to continue that in the future. And there's so much more we can do from that. It's not just protecting the koala and the habitat that it's found, but every other animal that lives in that area too. It's not just koalas that are in decline. You think of Tassie devil, orange-bellied parrot, so many different reptile and other bird species. It's across the country, really. It's pretty sad.
OK, so how big would these habitats have to be? I'm trying to get a gauge of practically what can be done.
Yeah, I guess the biggest issue is trying to preserve enough habitat in areas that are already depleted, particularly in eastern Australia. But you're talking huge national parks, preserving them for 300, 400, 500 years. So you're talking about massive areas, which is very difficult because as our population grows, we need more houses and we need more places to live, but we can't keep encroaching onto native wildlife habitat.
Right, so just out of Sydney, I suppose, the Blue Mountains would be a classic example. The urban sprawl, and in Melbourne up into the Dandenongs, that's what you're talking about, is it?
Yeah, and when you drive through Victoria, it's desolate. It's a sad place to drive through, sorry, Victorians, but it really is. It looks horrible. You go out to past the great...
In terms of habitats for animals.
Habitats, yeah.
Beautiful countryside.
Beautiful countryside, but it has been from farmland, and even when you drive outside of the Great Dividing Range in Western New South Wales up until the rain, it just looks horrible.
OK. It's a real challenge for us. Dan, keep us up to date with it. For more on the fight to save the koala, head to sunrise.com.au. Nat.